Good evening, guys. Well, this is like just the beginning to the video, and well, I hadn't planned on making this video. It just is snowing today, and drove Big Blue to work, and made a little video, and decided to do an update on what was going on. And so this is just like the beginning. I want to add it to the beginning, and it's going to be a little disjointed, so I do apologize for the disjointedness. I don't show you guys enough love, you Ford owners. And then I'm going to put an end to it and finalize this video. So I just wanted to add a beginning. So it may look kind of weird. I don't normally film in this direction, and, I don't even know which direction to look. Where the heck is the camera? I'm looking this way. Camera ain't over there. Maybe I should flip the phone so I feel more comfortable. Who knows? Okay, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the video for the Ford Fusion Energi. And I will give you the end. Please excuse the hair. I just got out of work, so I look like a total doofus. Well, I look like a doofus most of the time. I will talk to you at the end. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Verdier. I've just gotten to work after a 20-minute delay. I am in Big Blue today. As you can see, it's the Ford Fusion. Just wanted to get a quick look at the grill of the car. We got our surprise little ice and wet and crappy snowstorm thing happen today. And Big Blue is not fun with these tires to drive in this kind of weather. But my adaptive cruise control did fail about halfway here driving on the highway. This has happened before. One of the weaknesses of this car is its grill, which looks great, but I think it's tends to get clogged up a little easily. Let's see if it is clogged right now. No, not really. So the question is the last time this happened, the entire grill was clogged up. I'm wondering if the radar is down here. Oh, it's very possible it's down. No, that's all solid. It's all pretty solid down there. So I figure it's down in here. If you can look inside, it's very hard to see inside. But there's a lot of ice inside of there, and it tends to clog up the radar. Last time, the entire face was totally covered in ice and snow, and that caused a problem. But just wanted to give you an idea of what kind of weather can really cause troubles. I'll probably do a little bit more information, because there were certain things that were fantastic about this car in this weather that I wanted to tell you about. So I'm going to sign off on this part, and we're going to continue later. Well, this is the second part of the video I did earlier. We had a snowstorm in frickin' April. What the heck is going on? This sucks. Well, my radar didn't survive the drive up. Very sticky, wet snow. I think it got way deep down into the grill. Last time I covered the whole grill, and we're going to see if it's going to work on the way back. This car's kind of scary in this kind of weather, but I have to be perfectly honest. I mean, I don't give as much love to this car because it's not really my lovey-dovey car, but I do like this car, and I'm beginning to get a great appreciation for it. It's actually a fantastic cruiser. It's very smooth on the road. I mean, extremely smooth, more than you would ever expect from a Ford. Not that I know much about Fords, but I mean, you get this attitude and ideas about Fords, and so forth. It's actually a very good car. The biggest problem with being a cruiser, aside from the fact that the seats are just not all that comfortable, big problem, is because of the design of the plug-in. It has no trunk room, which makes it as a trip cruiser not very useful, because you can't put anything in it. It's really bad. Well, I'm getting ready to take a very dangerous drive home. Everything's kind of icy. I did there was a crash on the way into work today. There was I think a head-on on the road I was on, and I was stuck sitting for a while. And so all the ice got to build up on the car. Gave me a good chance to test out how this car defrosts itself. I have to tell you guys, defroster in this car is excellent. It's really, really excellent. The car, let's get this puppy warmed up. We're going to have to shut off the sound because the music's going to play. There we go. It defrosted very quickly. And I was very impressed with how quickly the windscreen cleared off, the back cleared off, and the mirrors. They just totally cleaned up very quickly. Another nice thing is they are tinted mirrors. They're good against any bright lights behind me. I've also been doing very good on my gas mileage. I just refilled. You all can see I'm pretty much filled up now. Doesn't really show. Nighttime's not very good on this car. I think the exposure is not so good, and I'm not very good at it. However, I average about 54 miles to the gallon, which was actually very good. This car is more automatic in the way it takes care of your mileage. However, I found with this car, I drive basically about 42 miles to work and 42 miles back. I have no way of charging it here at the mall, which is ridiculous. There should be a charging station. I mean, there are some across the street, but they're a pain in the butt to deal with. I find what it is about 15, about half of it is regular rural roads, and then the rest of it is expressway going at about 70 miles per hour. And 70 miles per hour is just not good on any car. All cars start losing their gas mileage when you start going over 55 in general. I mean, very generally speaking, guys. So what I've done is I've been holding the electric power, and it'll only hold 95% of it. It always uses like the first 5%. I don't know, for basic stuff. I don't know why, it's just the way it is. I've been holding it for the expressway, and I would drive to work. And as soon as I hit the expressway, I'd get up to about 70, I'd hit the electricity, and I'd get nearly 21 or so odd miles on this battery charge. Closer to 19 to 20 when it's colder, like today. But, I got up to 21, maybe even 22 or 23 on some of these other days. And as a result, on my last tank of gas, I averaged about 54 miles to the gallon, which I thought was absolutely fantastic for a car this size, especially since I'm only charged going one direction. The other way, it's all hybrid. A car gets very good gas mileage for its size. It's also incredibly comfortably smooth on the road. It handles very well. The tires are a disaster, but that's probably part of why it gets such good gas mileage. Ergonomics are reasonably good. I'm not too thrilled with the design. We're going to go point by point basis between this and my Insight to show off the good things and the bad things about this car. But this car is really beginning to grow on me. Now, we're up to 4,677.5 miles on this car. I've been pumping up some miles on it. It's going in on Friday for its 5,000 mile checkup. They were recommending an oil change, but I'm not going to do it on this car. I'm going to do it when the car tells me to. It's a leased car. If I owned it, I would do, oil change every 5,000, but, I'm going to follow manufacturer's recommendation. Why waste my time? In that aspect, I'm going to get the tires rotated, and I'm going to have it looked over. Also, there seems to be a semi-recall type thing going on. Now, I'm going to end this video when I get home with the letter I got concerning the recall. Don't worry, it's nothing significantly bad for drivers or anything. It's just kind of like a safety recall for, electrocution issues that could happen with people working on a car, I think. So I will read up that. I'll end the whole video on that. I haven't been giving you guys, you Ford owners, much love. I do apologize for that. Here, you can see how nice the lighting is in this car. I don't know why the inside light's going to be like. I think I'm going to change those in the inside at some point. But I also want to go over the full GPS in this car. I really like the GPS in this car. The lack of updates is outrageous. That is outrageous for the cost of this car. It should not be that way. Ford, you need to rethink that. But I'm going to end it. I'm going to end the thing right now. Just let you know, general state of the car. It's doing very well. I'm growing much more attached to it. Gas mileage is fantastic. It's easy. I highly recommend using your electrical power on the expressway, especially if you're running at speeds like 70 miles per hour. And it's not a major uphill run. It's mostly a level or slightly downhill. You'll get a tremendous amount of distance that way. Otherwise your distance may vary. Seat heaters also work fantastic. A little hot on the tush though. My butt gets so hot on this seat. That's one of the negatives on the car, and the seat's just not comfortable. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm a fat, hubba tubba, but still, other people have complained about the seats in these cars. They're not what they should be. All right, we're gonna end it at this point. We're gonna see if my radar's back up. Actually, let's check it out right now. We're going to see if it shows up. We're going to go into double thing, and we're going to go in our settings. One of the nice things about having the settings here on the controls right here directly, as opposed to on the main screen on the side, is that you can do a lot of your driver changes, these type of things, which you cannot do on, let's see if the adaptives, if the radar is working. And we'll find out, I guess, when we turn it on. Although that's something I really don't like, the fact that I have to turn the damn thing on. That's just freaking ridiculous. I shouldn't have to turn it on. All I have to do is set it, and that should work just fine. I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just rambling as usual. I am thinking of you Ford people. There aren't many of you. I think you Insight people should check out the things in the car, because this car is fascinating in its own way, and I like discussing it off and on too. If any of you Ford guys have any questions or anything you want to know more about the car, just let me know. I still concede that it's a little on the boring side. It's not a playful car. That's not what it's made for. But if you want a good, quiet cruiser, and the safety systems, aside from the weirdness of the lane departure, the way it works is kind of odd. The safety systems in this car are significantly superior to the ones in the Insight. I feel very safe in this car. Well, aside from driving in the snow and ice, which this car is scary in. When driving, I feel very safe. The radar cruise control is very good. The brake alarm is very bright. It's right up here. It flashes bright red. It lowers the volume of the stereo during emergency things. Also, when you're backing up, all these things make, I think, this car a safe car. I feel safe in this car, except in the snow, in which case I feel like I'm taking my life in my hands, which I'm going to be doing tonight. So if I make it home, I'll finish this video and upload it. If you never get another upload, you'll know that Verdier died driving Big Blue. All right, Zeigazund, I will talk to you when I go over the recall notice. All right, as promised, it's the end of the video. I gave you some information. One thing I did forget to say during the video, I was very, very impressed with all the snow and the slush that was on the ground. The actual lane guidance tend to work. It actually saw the lanes. The lanes stayed green. You're talking about the thing that lets you know whether it sees your lanes and so forth for your road departure and all that. This car is very good at that. Ford has got this down very well on this system, and I'm sorry about this stupid camera. I'm very impressed with how this thing is designed in this aspect. I'm going to go a little deeper into it at some point, but it was very good. Now, to get down to the fact that there is some kind of recall involved, I don't know if it's an official recall. They don't like to call them recalls because it tends to hurt the automotive industry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read what I got and see if any of you guys who have these Ford Fusion Energies know what it is. This is Compliance Recall Notice 19C05, NHTSA Recall 19V-099. Happily, it isn't one of those where it says if you take a left turn in your Ford Fusion Energi, you have your right turn signal turned on, you're smoking a cigarette and you sneeze, the car will explode. It's not that. Happily, it's nothing real bad. So this is what I'm going to tell you what it is. The issue is, on your vehicle, if the high voltage battery service disconnect access panel located behind the rear seat is removed, it may be possible to make contact with an uncovered high voltage fuse through a small gap. Obviously, when you're dealing with high voltage, you don't want to be blowing yourself up or killing yourself. So obviously, they want to get this done. So, what is the risk? Potential high contact high voltage. I think that's a pretty big risk right there. And what will Ford do? They will fix it free of charge. They're saying it's a half a day kind of deal, depending on your dealer. I have set up my appointment for Friday. Friday's my 5,000 mile check. This is basically what my entire 5,000 mile check is. I'm getting the tires rotated. I'm going to have all the fluids checked, but I'm not changing the oil. I'm going to change the oil based on what the car tells me to do. Generally, I would change every 5,000 miles, but it's not my car. It's a leased car, and I'm going to follow what the car says. And I know if it's within 1 year or whatever the thing says. So when it gets down to like 15%, oil, or it says it's almost time to change oil, I will go and change the oil. I am going to take care of the car. I'm just not going to, change oil every 5,000 miles on a car that says it wants it changed at a different time, especially when it's not my car. I'll take care of it, but that's as far as it goes. So basically, all you have to do is call your Ford dealer and check on this. They said what you do is you tell them it's a recall 19C as in Charlie 05. And tell them that I called. They didn't know what the heck I was talking about. I didn't know the recall number. I was at work at the time. So I didn't know the recall number, and she said there was nothing listed, but she said it's such a new car, bring it in and they'll take care of it. So just to let you guys know, it is out there. There is a problem. It's not major. I guess it's major if you're sticking your hand near the voltage thing. I mean, come on, dudes. If you guys are doing that, get it fixed. It's going to be fixed free of charge and so forth. But, you know, if you call, you may not get much response. They may not know, and they may have to look up through your VIN and all that, and even then it doesn't necessarily show up. So if you haven't gotten a letter, that's the information on it, and take it in. Thank you guys, and I hope, you know, things I said about the Ford Fusion today add some information for you. I hope some of you guys that have the insight watch his videos. Yeah, this is just my kind of fun and so forth. I'm beginning to really like this car. It's not fun, I'm sorry. I've said it multiple times. It's not a fun car, but it is a good car. There are more things to say, but tonight's not the night to do it. So, Sei gesund to all of you guys. This is Verdier. Peace out to you, and I will talk to you later.